So thank you for doing that. I do appreciate that. With that, so you know, they have been off. But with old business, basically, the cemetery improvements is always on there. Please come to me if you have any. In the improvements this year is the 2-tier block wall around Seaman. Mike Bradford is getting ready to start that. We have paid him the first payment of 3 installments. He is getting, I have the lower block, he's ordering the upper block, and is going to start on it here probably pretty soon. We want to get that wall in, at least the back section, before we start on this road, because we don't want to patch the asphalt. Jeff has been chomping at the bit to get out there, but as you know, the rain, the snow, the melt, whatever, it's pretty sloppy, so we haven't done anything yet out there. It's ready to go, but just haven't got out there. So that should start here pretty soon. Why we're under old business, number 2 is a future site of cremation 3. This is just my rendition. This is, remember I told you last week I wasn't happy with the first drawing, so I have made a different one. What I'm trying to do in this one, because of where it's at, and Potter's is where we're going to go. Here, if you guys want to look at one last, I'll bring one down to you as soon as we're done here. The white, what you see in the white squares is actually a 2-person foundation, okay? As you can see, everything else is green. Inside the circles, it will be landscaping, bushes, or whatever. The people will be buried behind their stones in those circles. And as you see, it's all green because it's all grass. We're going to go more natural, okay? 2 reasons. One, it's in a wooded area. I think it'll look good. I can branch off in this into some more areas. I am losing lots compared to the straight block. Run them in rows, follow me? Right. But I can go farther, you know, and it's going to be, we can, how do I say this? We can stay the same money because it's going to be less concrete. This is going to have a third of concrete that was in cremation 2. And most of this we can do ourselves. Instead of paying a firm to do, as you notice, there's no sidewalk, none of this, it's all green. The ones that run on the outside, basically, you allow 2 feet. 2 feet's the most if they would go to a vault that I have to dig. Very rare that we do that, okay? So you can see there's plenty, every round is circle, I don't have it all dimensioned, but circle to circle, there's over 3 feet each one. So if somebody's in a wheelchair, they can get around. It's not a hard thing to do. So it's very open, natural, we just be mowing it, so we don't take care of walks, stuff like that. No above ground, we have plenty in 2 yet, and still a couple in 1. So this is my rendition. It doesn't mean it's, I'll have you guys vote on it a little bit later. I want to do a couple more things before we get one to okay it. Would like to probably next meeting get an okay. I will try to get a rough estimate with what I'm saving this year on some stuff. I should have about $10,000 to start this project. We're going to need it. 2 is just about out. So, like I say, this is the one I like the best. The other one was just more square block like the number 2. I didn't bring a copy of because I just don't like it. If you want to see that, I'll be glad to bring it. So this is in a 50 by 60, a little over 60-foot grid in there. And like I say, there's trees, big 90, 100-foot trees all around it, and we can curve in and go out farther. Okay, so you understand this is an area where we can't put full bodies in because they don't know who, what, and where is in different areas. The reason I'm doing this and using this land is because we only dig 30 inches. They're 6 feet. Follow me? If somebody's there, we're not going to touch them. They're not marked, they're not labeled if that's the case or whatever, and I don't want to disturb them. Right. So I want to honor them, but there's no markings, there's no records, whatever, as far as that goes. And so basically, we're just going on top in the first 30 inches of it. So we won't disturb anything if there is anything in there. We'd have no idea. The only way was get a big X-ray thing and do it, and there's no need. So they're a lot shallower than full bodies have to be. So this is why we're doing it. It's just a big open area that we mow and take care of, and there's not a lot of stones in there, and I thought this would be a great place to, where it's not taking up a lot of land for full body. So I like this design. I guess I want some feedback from you guys, what you think. Jerry, I'll show you one in a minute.
How far out can you extend it?
This way?
Yeah.
I can mix and match in over 100 feet, probably that way. And I can go this way also. I don't know how far this way. But in the midst, like right in here is like 5, 6 trees. But you can go around, you know what I mean, and continue and just leave it more natural. But what I want to do, I mean, the other one's fine. I like the one. It was kind of angled. It's kind of nice. nice. I didn't get it all done, I didn't get a gazebo in there, I still may put one in, or do a pergola, just to make it a little nicer in the middle. But here I just thought, man, go natural, and then I can in this, be the inner circle. The first line you see is where the bodies would be. So in that inner circle, I can do bushes, different stuff. I can put a tree, and as you see, it's 9 foot in there. So I have plenty of room to landscape and do some stuff to make it look kind of nice and more natural setting for this. And then, like I say, I can branch off and draw and do whatever, and I think it's just a good use of this space. Feedback, anything, like it, don't like it, please. I
I
mean,
think it's a good idea that the thing with the trees or just be any roots that eventually, up and around.
oh, inside here,
Yeah.
if, no,
No, I'm just saying, so we don't get anything that's root, over the years, the roots are gonna start pushing the sidewalk or the concrete up or anything.
no, because what they'll use is if I put trees, it'll be like what they call flowering crab.
Okay,
Okay, now you look like in cremation one,
Yeah.
those round tops, those are a
Right.
form of a crab.
right,
Okay, with crabs, the root system is determined by the canopy.
right,
The root system in the crab does not extend past the canopy.
right.
So I can control the root systems in this situation. I will not put pines. I mean, you could do boxwoods, different stuff,
Yeah.
small root systems.
Right.
But no, I don't even want to push into that first green area,
Yeah,
follow me,
yeah.
because that's where the containers are going to be.
Right.
So with that 9 foot gives me a bunch to,
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I can go, what it's cool is I could get a flowering crab and shape it where it can be fairly large and
Right.
still not go in because it'll stay within that canopy.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you know, no, I've thought about that. 'Cause
Yeah, it's-
that's a big concern, and we have that problem out there. You'll see them tilting its foundations,
Right.
because everybody wanted a tree back in 1902, and now they're 80 feet tall. I can tell you a story not too far from this. I had 4 lovely ladies come out on a summer day, just to have visited or whatever, and they go, we can't find our grandma and grandpa. So I got the map and went in, and it's actually on the other side of this road, down a little bit. And she goes, where is it? And I got to chuckling, and I said, well, I don't want you to be mad at me, because you remember, I didn't live back in that day. This tree, 3 of us could put our arms around, okay? I said, they're underneath that tree. They go, what? And I'm like, yeah, they're right underneath that tree. They go, you're kidding me. I said, no, I bet when they planted that tree, it was probably this big.
Yeah.
And it's this big man, and it's sitting right on their lot, and it's covered the whole area, man. It takes over 2 lots. It's just unbelievable. They got the biggest kick out of it.
Wow.
And the one lady goes, guess nobody'd be taking them. I'm like, nope, nobody'd be getting them. It's 100 and some foot tall. And so, yeah, but anyway, it was just cool. They were nice people. But anyway, so that,
Next-
I can print more off, but you can think about it, and then we'll really hit it hard the next one. I appreciate your opinions, because you don't have to say, well, Hal drew it and that's it. Not at all. I can go back to the board. I have the AutoCAD. You're gonna say, it's just me and what I think. And of course, my secretary's leaning over me a little bit too, so you know, okay, at doing this. My first one, like I say, if I boxed it, okay, I can put in probably another 40 some lots, if not more. And with sidewalks and everything, whatever. So I could gain more, but I'm gonna spend more, okay? By doing it this way, it's more natural, and it's a little bit less, but like I say, I have plenty to add. I can add to it. That make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Like it, don't like it, want me to change something?
It's good.
Or come in and I'll get you a copy. I want to see, if you take that one to Terry so he can kind of look at it for a minute. Because there she's looking at me going, what? This would be the road. All the white would be stones, and then the thin people would be inside here. So a little green area with the first white line. Now these people will be out of here, but there's, in one case, like 2 foot, there's 4 feet. But all the green is grass, except we were talking landscaping inside these little areas. Okay? Let's look at that for a little bit. Like, think about it, if you want a copy or something, or you want me to take you out there and show you, I'd be glad to, because I'm very open-minded. I mean, you said no on this, I have no problem. I'll be glad to show you the other one. We can always put cost in. The thing is the city, who's nice, has been not gracious enough to let me do what I want to do, but I want other sets of eyes.
Sure.
What I like may not be what everybody likes. And I mean, if you want it to go sideways or whatever, let me know, we'll talk about it. it doesn't take me long to copy and fix that, follow me? I just wanted to get in your minds here for a little bit. So we'll try next meeting to, I'll make sure there's plenty of copies for everybody. I may bring the other one so you can see a difference. Or if somebody comes in and sees me and I have time, I'll draw up a third revision of it. Or we can even 86 it next meeting and I can do another one, if it has to be, okay?
Yep.
Firewood giveaway has, I don't have the total, there's 10 loads in February. That's plus or minus. What she has given you are the vouchers. So you know, that's, I like going through the voucher program, but my employees, other employees, excuse me, that know of somebody that needs it, they don't have to go sit and wait. They can come to us. So it's close, but we've given out a little bit more. Had a gentleman the other day, he cuts wood, couldn't get into his field, was underwater, whatever. He goes, what do I gotta do? I said, back up to the pen, you know. So that's why we do this, that's the whole reason. We have plenty of wood, still have plenty of wood. Most of the backfill stuff the street gave us, we have at least cut. A lot of it split, but a lot of it cut to be in there. We probably could split as much as I have in there right now, plus a couple other piles. We'll just keep working on it so it's ready. In that, which I'm going to sit down because we're talking about it, I have hired Beaver Dam to come in and take out some dead trees. Currently there's 11. They have taken 7 down here this week. We've got them all cleaned up but the one cherry tree, and it's an oak. It got hit by a tornado many years ago. It was a tall one. I left it because some of them will repurpose. I have 2 that have grown. They told me to leave because they're still 40 feet tall. And this one did not, and it started to peel, so I took this one down. He has another 4, and they're on the west side, but it's my wet area, and they're big, tall ones. 2 got hit by lightning. He gave me a great price on this. I don't know about the other 4. He priced 7 to begin with. And I went to him and said, really? And he goes, how, you do a lot for it, and we do a lot for you, you treat us really well. So they did like a group rate. So I had him do this other 4, and I still have plenty of money, because I knew there was a lot of, my big concern is widowmakers and branches falling in these big trees. So he is a licensed climber, which is really cool. In fact, if you want to have a picture on my phone, he's way up there today. He's going to come back, once the foliage gets on, he's going to come back and go around that old section and climb and cut out the bad stuff. I worry about my workers, I worry about people walking, and some of these are pretty big. And he is very experienced, he does, his son climbs too, but it's really cool to have him. He cut one out in front of the office, and to tell you why I like him, this tree is right on the road, okay, so it's right on a corner, like this, right, stones all around, stones across, then it's central, in buildings. This tree, I'll estimate 90 feet in a Y. He climbed and dropped it in probably a 20 by 25. And he had the last big limb that he couldn't swing off. And so I had to watch, because it's cool to watch the guy climb. I'm like, how's he going to drop this and not break anything? He stacked the logs that he had down on the road, right in front of the road, and dropped over that. So it took the percussion and not hitting the road.
Nice.
So he's very good at it, and he's fully insured too, so you know, but he's very methodical how he does it, and I don't have to fix stones or do anything like that. That's what it's all about. So he will be back. You may hear more about him when he did this a few years ago, excuse me, and went up some trees and cut some widowmakers out. And I just told him I just have a lot of fear of what's going on because there's a lot of old trees in there, and some hit. He's going to help me also go through and determine what ones might need to come out, and if I have enough, I'll have him take those out also. And then my last wish list with him, and he said he'll do, and I know he won't charge much. When you come up Central, you can't see Legion 2 flag when the foliage is on, because those big trees. He's going to shape that for me so we can see that flag. Anyway, we'll move on. So that's Beaver Dam Tree Service that's doing that. Where are we at? Preparation of new road, we talked about that already. We haven't started. The replacement of the bad stormwater drain, it's either an 8 or 10 inch. I call Pete Bazika. I don't know if you know that name. He is the one that does all the city's water lines downtown, the big stuff. And he also does it in the cemetery. He's helped me out a bunch. He also directionally bores. So I happened to call him today, and he was in Florida. Apologized. He goes, oh no, that's fine. So when he gets back, he's going to come out and give me a quote to put a new line in. It is wastewater. I think I told you, shot a camera through it. And it's the clay tile, but it's not the bell tile, it's just a clay butt-to-butt tile. And as you're going through, excuse me, as you're going through this tile, you'll see the tile, and all of a sudden the top part will be missing its dirt, you know, and so it's gonna go, and it's one of my main drains, so I'm gonna have to put it in, take it on down. So I will let you know that once I get the result and the quote for that. New business, we already talked about the tree service and what's going on there. The guys are heavy into spring cleanup right now. Not only are they cleaning up these trees, because with Beaver Dam, they price it to drop and cut it in sections, you know, we can handle. We have the tools to do it. These guys are very good. So in the midst of doing that, they have taken off all the gray blankets and all the stuff in the ground. We have probably, I'll throw out a number of 60% of the graves getting ready, prepped to be sod as soon as sod comes up, so they're cutting them down, getting them ready to go. We also, this year, which I hope I don't take too much slack, but I will explain to people, there's a lot of concrete pots out there. I wish I could talk, I'm sorry. Concrete pots. What happens is, some do, but some don't, they don't cover them. Okay, so yeah, they are concrete, they think because they're concrete, they're non-breakable.
Right.
But what happens is they fill up with water in the winter, and then they freeze, and then it blows them, and they'll blow sides. And then they put rocks, they put glass little beads in it. All that stuff is projectiles in my guy's face and body when you go a weed whack by. And we literally clean everything guts. They'll knock it over, don't think anything about it, set it back up, and they have all these little glass stuff in there. And you hit one with a weed whacker, and they're coming if you're in the way. And so I said, this year, guys, we're going to go around with the gators, and if they're broken, busted, we're going to take them. Okay, now Gator isn't a very big bed on the back. We took 11 loads out.
Oh my God.
And scraped and cleaned the foundations and did everything to get rid of those old pots, because we fight all year with them. So some people are going to be upset that we took their pots, but I can't. It's just, I can't leave them out. One, they look terrible, and it just doesn't make the cemetery look nice. Some I don't think I will, because the flowers look like they were put in 30 years ago. And there's nothing wrong. The family's probably passed or moved or whatever. So some we won't, but just in case that comes up, so you understand. And I don't mind taking a little heat over it, but we're not going to replace them. That we didn't buy them or break them. Now, so you know, we have pots. In that midst of them doing this winter, they recondition. We have people give us these pots. They don't want them on anymore, and they're still very good. So we clean the dirt out, wash them, and repaint them. And then we store them in a double garage. So if one of my mowers accidentally hits one, I have one to replace. And I should put out a public thank you. Last summer or spring or whatever, I came into work, and behind there was some stuff, and there's 5 of these big giant concrete pots. No note, hey, have them, whatever. I have them in the double garage. They set them behind my office. I don't know if they just, I don't remember seeing them out there, but they're beautiful. They're almost brand new, so I don't know. I'm hanging on to them because they unload them and have to come back. I don't know, but anyway, so I just want to let that out in case you would happen to get a phone call or something comes by you, and trust me, if it could stay out there and look good enough, we left it. But if not, we took them, and then of course we cleaned it all, the foundation off and brushed them off and everything there, so we took care of the site. So that was something I wanted to do for quite a while. We still, in the midst of that, I don't have it written down, this is so busy for us, but another thing the guys want to do, these governments that we put in and the flat stones, they sink over time, whatever, so we're going to go back and start fixing some of those as we get time, as we're going. As I say, it's first pour, I believe, foundations, we have the frames ready. It probably will start sitting there pretty soon. I think the first pour is 30. And we have a second pour already going. So the guys are very, very busy right now, which is cool. We all know that and what's going on. So I covered the grave blankets. Yes. Burying sod, talked about that. As you look over the financial, it might be a little different coming into the next financial. The reason is we have to get the money turned in. And Leanne put it on my desk, the last whatever amount it was, and I didn't get it up one time, so it had to go into this new month. So it may not balance with graves and stuff like that. So if you get into that real heavy, it'll be off a little bit, but it'll be in next month's, so you know. And that was my fault. I didn't have time to get it up there. But other than that, unless you have questions, I know that was a lot of information. This is the busiest time of us, and going up into May. I usually don't get any seasonal help till May. You know. I'm hoping April. My older gentleman that mows for me, he's hoping to come back, but he did have a stroke. Christmas Eve, it was Christmas Eve day. He's a good friend of mine, actually, very fit man. He was tingling in the ears, and so, but he didn't. I stayed with him Christmas Eve morning for a while, and he had his speech. It was his left arm and left leg. They say it's a 24-hour period that the stroke happens. So they had rehab set up for him in Fort Wayne right after. He's already driving. He's been back. He's doing rehab. He looks good. And his goal is to come back and mow for me. And as long as he can pass all the, I have no problem with it. But so just keep him in your prayers. But he's anxious to get back. He loves working out there. And it's Stu Watkins is who it is, and he was my boss at LRC. He was kind of weird we flipped here, but he's a good guy. He's been retired, but he doesn't like to sit at home. And it's nice for me for mowing because that gives me a guy mowing. He's been with me. If he comes this year, it'll be 3 a year. So anyway, I think he'll come back. So I don't usually get him until April, but otherwise, my CNO, we have posted. We've already called them to see if they want to come back. 2 of them are school teachers, so if they come, I'm not going to get them until school's out. The one's a young man. He's I believe a senior this year, going into computer-ish classes or whatever. He's worked for me 2 years now, in over a 3-year period. He worked for me full-time. Then he got his internship at one of the orthopedics in computers at Miss Zimmer. Don't they have the one out in Old 30? That's what he said he was. So he didn't work for me. The next year, he called, and Zimmer had cut his internship for half a day. This young man came and weed-whacked with me all morning, went home at noon and changed, took a shower, and went and worked at the thing. He's a really go-getter, and he's panicking because he doesn't know about his intern. I said, there's a job there for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead and figure out your intern. You didn't go to, you're not going to college, you get ready to go to college and say, I want to be a cemetery guy. No, I get that. But he's a great kid, great worker, so we're hoping to get that back. And there's actually, if his brother's as good as him, his brother is kind of inkling to come, and they need 4. So with that, I think I'm done, sir. If you have anything for me.
I do not.
You got all the,
Yep.
you don't put in the burials and deeds and all that, do you? Okay, I didn't know if you did, because we didn't really talk about that. They all signed them while we were talking, but, okay.
Next meeting is April the 2nd already.
It hasn't time for it.
Crazy.
It is, April 2nd.
I know.
April 2nd.
So do we want a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
So moved.
I second.
All right, motion. There's a meeting adjourned.
Sorry, Ms. Laskis, if I went too fast. I tried to slow down. I'm terrible at it. There's so much going through this little brain of mine. If I don't stay on task, I'll forget it. If you